India's seafood industry has pulled off a quiet comeback this year, and it comes at a time when the sector was expected to struggle. Official data shows that between April and October, India's seafood exports rose 11.6%, touching $4.69 billion, up from $4.2 billion a year earlier during the same period. These numbers arrive barely months after the United States imposed steep tariffs on Indian seafood, beginning August 2025. Officials say the rise wasn't accidental. The Commerce and Industry Ministry's analysis shows that higher shipments to the European Union, China, Vietnam, Russia, and the UK helped plug the hole created by the tariff-hit US market. Exports to the EU alone surged 40% in value. Shrimp exports shot up 57%. That surge is the result of one big shift. Earlier this year, the European Union approved 102 Indian fishery units for exports. That new listing opened the gates for more aquaculture, shrimp, squid, cuttlefish, and octopus to enter the bloc. The expanded access didn't happen overnight. A series of meetings in Brussels and New Delhi helped convince EU regulators that India's food safety and traceability systems remain strong. But the EU wasn't the only market India turned to. Shipments to Russia also climbed in the first 7 months of this financial year. Moscow added 29 more Indian units from which it began importing seafood this year. And it provided Indian exporters one more door at a time when one of the biggest doors, the US, was tightening. An official put it simply: India has moved away from a one country, one product, one species export mindset. The old model was too risky. Today, the sector is working on a diversified market, many products, multiple species approach. That shift is what cushioned the tariff blow. Back at home, the Indian seafood industry is feeling the impact of lower domestic input costs. Industry insiders say the duty cuts on fish feed, equipment, and improved working conditions help reduce production costs across the chain. At a time when exporters are facing high tariffs in the US, lower domestic costs are giving them breathing space.
The cost of the equipments have come down, and the cost of the duty on the job work has also come down. So there's a huge fall in the duty impact at every stage in the production process. So this should help to bring down the overall cost in the domestic market.
All of this together tells one story. When US tariffs hit, India recalibrated fast. It built confidence with Europe. It reopened links with Russia. It leaned on China, Vietnam, and the UK, and it strengthened standards at home to maintain credibility abroad.
They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.